intuition process. It's a program that claims it can take a kid's gut feeling and turn it into a powerhouse tool for success. Let's jump right in and see what this is all about.
All right, so the first thing we got to ask is the big one, really. Is intuition something you're just born with? A gift? Or, and this is the core of the whole program, can you actually train it? Like building a muscle at the gym?
So before we get ahead of ourselves, what are we even talking about when we say intuition? Let's unpack what the program itself means by that.
Basically, they define it as knowing something without having to think it through logically. You know that feeling? That aha moment that just kind of pops into your head from nowhere? Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
The founder of the program, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, puts it really simply. He says it's just having the right thought at the right moment. So see, it's not some mystical, vague thing. It's actually a practical tool, right? It's about getting the perfect idea just when you need it most.
Okay, but why focus on kids and teens? Well, the whole idea is that a kid's mind is kind of like a clean slate. It's fresh and less obsessive, as they put it. It doesn't have all that mental clutter, the constant analyzing that we adults do. So the theory is it's way easier for them to tune into that quiet, intuitive signal.
All right, so if we accept that you can train this, so what? What's in it for the kids? Let's get into the benefits they claim you'll see.
They really lay out a clear before and after scenario. It's almost like they're tackling some of the biggest challenges kids face today, right? Taking that nagging self-doubt and turning it into real confidence. Or taking all those digital distractions, we all know about those, and transforming them into a better attention span.
And it goes way beyond just that. The list of claimed benefits is pretty impressive. We're talking about better decision-making, a boost in creativity, even stronger social skills. The big idea here is that a sharp intuition is like a foundation for success in pretty much, everything.
Okay, so we know what it is and why they do it. Now for the really interesting part. How do they do it? What does the program actually look like on the inside?
It's a really cool mix, actually. On one hand, you've got these ancient practices like yogic techniques and guided meditations, but then they mix that with super fun modern games and activities. The whole point of combining these is to help quiet down that loud analytical part of the brain so that the more intuitive side can finally get a word in.
And then there's this, probably the thing everyone talks about the most, the blindfold activities. Kids are reading, coloring, playing games, all while blindfolded. And no, it's not just for fun. It's designed to be a very real, hands-on way for them to practice using that intuition, to see and understand things without using their eyes at all.
All right, let's look at the nuts and bolts. How is this thing structured? It's not a one-size-fits-all deal. They've actually broken it down specifically for different age groups.
So looking at this, it's what you call a hybrid model. There are in-person sessions, but then there are also these short daily practices you do online. And you can see how it scales up, right? For the little ones, the juniors, it's a 10-day thing. But for the older kids and teens, it stretches out to 17 days with a bit more of a time commitment each day.
Okay, this all sounds great, but the million-dollar question is, does any of it actually work? Let's dig into the data and the stories that the organization shares to back all this up.
And according to their research, the results are, they're pretty staggering. They're reporting huge drops in some really common behavioral issues. Get this, a 78% reduction in conduct problems. And hyperactivity and emotional issues, both down by almost 70%. That's a massive change.
It's not just about behavior either. For teens, they're reporting a 22% increase in accuracy, and that's a really big deal, because it points to getting better at things that need real precision and focus. It brings us right back to that idea of having the right thought at the right moment, especially when you're, say, in the middle of a tough exam.
And it's not all about grades and performance. They also claim a 29% jump in mental well-being, which, if you think about it, makes a lot of sense. It suggests that when your intuition is stronger, you just feel more calm and centered on the inside.
But numbers are one thing, right? What does this look like for a real person? Well, that's where the testimonials come in. You've got graduates like Pranav Kalro, who says flat out that this program helped him improve his SAT score. That's taking these skills and turning them into a real-world tangible win.
So, where does that leave us? The whole program makes a pretty compelling argument, doesn't it? That this thing we call intuition, something we usually just ignore, might actually be this incredible tool that